you ever felt like no matter how much you work out or how clean you eat, you still just can't get rid of that stubborn belly fat? You cut calories, you do the workouts, and yet your jeans still don't fit the way you'd like them to. Girl, it's not your willpower, it's your hormones. And until you fix that, that stubborn belly fat's not going anywhere. What's up, gang? I'm Taylor, a hormone health coach. I've been empowering women and educating them on how to get rid of stubborn belly fat by balancing their hormones, pairing the right workouts, and making it a lifestyle, not just a crash diet. So now I'm going to share with you how I've helped hundreds of women finally balance their hormones and drop that stubborn belly fat to get the confidence they need. Here's the main thing. When the body is out of balance, it doesn't matter how much you train or how little you eat. If cortisol is elevated and insulin is elevated, your body is not going to get into a fat burning mode. As insulin rises, fat burning stops. So in the presence of insulin, you can't burn any body fat. So if you're constantly under eating, overtraining, not pairing the right foods, skipping meals, all of those are just added stressors on the body. What does that stress do? Sends cortisol pouring up, raises insulin, so your body's never able to actually get into a fat burning mode. Here's how we break that cycle. Proper macros, proper training, and proper recovery. Start with proper macros and proper food pairing. Macros are macronutrients. There's three main macronutrients: carbs and fats. That's your muscle building blocks, great for overall health and definitely a necessity. Carbs are an energy source, and fats are important for hormone balance, especially as women. So how we want to pair these is definitely by keeping protein in at all meals. And that's the number one mistake that I'm seeing women do. Efforts not to eat so much all day to either feel overly full or to raise their calories, they're led to snacking or grazing all day on just chips, crackers, bars, coffees, sugary drinks and sodas. And none of that is going to fuel your body with enough of the clean protein that you need. And ditch all those quick little fixes and quick little snacks. Start pairing every single meal with at least 30 grams of protein. This is not only going to help to lower that insulin, stabilize blood sugar, but it's going to help you feel fuller and satiated all day long. And after you've gotten your plate full of a quality whole food protein source, that's when we can now add in a healthy fat. Healthy fats are great from seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, even avocados. Just topping all of your meals, whether it's a salad, your eggs, some chicken, some ground beef, even Greek yogurts, with some form of healthy fat, you're going to be giving your body the hormone boost that it needs. Throw out those 90s diet books that told us not to have fat. It's kind of where I believe this whole obesity epidemic kind of started. Back when it was just be as skinny as you can, eat as little as possible, and be a cardio bunny, right? We're told just to eat less and move more. But unless we have the proper structure to our meals, that's not gonna work. Pairing that plate with high protein, at least 30 grams of protein, adding in healthy fat to every meal, and then filling the rest of your plate with a fibrous carbohydrate. So carbohydrates are our energy source, right? They're not necessities. We could live without carbohydrates because our body can actually get glucose from proteins. So they're not a necessity like protein and fats are. Your body can't make protein or fat from any other source, but we can turn other sources into glucose in the body. Now, carbs are great. They're roughage, they're our energy form, and we just have to make sure we are pairing them with the right items and eating them at the right time. So of course, my favorite type of carbs are big leafy green salads, cruciferous veggies, broccoli, kale, cauliflower, zucchini, asparagus, any type of veggies. We are pairing our meals with a protein, fat, and fiber. That's where the magic happens of balancing our macros. Meal pairing is so important. We don't want to have carbs and fats in the same meal at the same time in elevated amounts, meaning over 25 grams each. They fight for position in the body. One is burned as energy and one gets stored. Carbohydrates will get burned faster because glucose breaks down faster and is a faster energy source. The fats are a slower absorption rate, so those will tend to get stored, and they do get stored as fat. To keep the pairing simple, pair proteins with carbohydrates and proteins with fats. You don't want to mix carbs and fats. For an example, some of the best foods are always just carbs and fats. Avocado toast, carbs and fats. You got the bread and the avocado. Ice cream, carbs and fats. Pizza, carbs and fats. All of the best foods are carbs and fats, but all of those put on body fat. How we want to pair them, again, the carbs and then just the protein and the fats would be a great example of having your salmon, which is a healthy fat, with leafy greens or veggies instead of a bed of rice or potatoes. Going out to a restaurant and you're ordering grilled salmon, don't get it with potatoes or side of rice. Eat the salmon with leafy green salad or some sauteed or steamed veggies. That way you're having just that healthy fat and protein together with those leafy greens. And if you're wanting more carbohydrates and you need that extra energy boost, that's fine. Just pair that side of rice or those potatoes with a leaner form of protein, like chicken, ground turkey, or fish. And keep the higher fatty proteins like ground beef and salmon with the leafy green salads or just veggies. Carbs and fats, they're not all created equal. Protein sources can have fats in them, like salmon. It's a great form of healthy protein, but it is a healthy form of fat. Ground beef, very healthy, and the extra lean ground beef is what I prefer, but there's still a great amount of healthy fats in there. Choosing your proteins, just make sure if they're a higher healthy fat protein, pair them with leafy greens and veggies. And if it's a leaner protein source, like a white fish, extra lean ground turkey, ground chicken, shrimp, or chicken breast, you can pair those proteins that are lower in fats with your healthy carbohydrates. Sweet potatoes, brown rice, even pasta. If you're feeling like you want those, we don't have to completely get rid of all the foods that we love. It's just learning to choose the healthier versions and pairing them with the right proteins. That's the recipe for sustainable fat loss.
Here's what I want you to remember. First, focus on lowering insulin if you want to burn belly fat. That means balancing blood sugar, avoiding snacking, and those constant spikes. Second, master macro pairing for fat loss. Combine your protein, carbs, and healthy fats the right way to keep your metabolism steady. And third, aim for at least 30 grams of protein in every meal to support lean muscle and keep those hormones balanced.
Exactly what I do with my clients inside my coaching programs. I take the guesswork out of nutrition so you don't have to waste your time spinning your wheels. You can learn how to eat more, not less, balance your hormones, and finally drop that stubborn fat for good. No more yo-yo dieting, no more starting over every Monday. If you're ready for real results, click the link in my bio or description to apply for my coaching. Plus, you can download my free macro guide to get started today.